We're going live. We're doing live. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, let's see how it looks good. Huh. State of the Union. I'm not going to watch that. And we'll go here. What is... It shows it, but... Yeah, I guess we don't have chat. I gotta move the window or something. I don't know. I'm not really too concerned about it. Wish I had a Red Bull though. That'd be really cool to have. But we do not. It is a morning for me. And I figured since I do have a little bit of premium time, I didn't get to show the end of the games from yesterday. So I didn't get to show how far we're going to get with the 3 games we had yesterday. So we will start with some plane unlocking. Let's see if I can... do that. So for the planes that we can unlock, we're going down these 2 lines. So I'm going to get the Typhoon here. So I've got a single Hurricane, a single Typhoon. This is the Typhoon that's in Aces of Thunder. I just watched the Defen video, so they actually sent Defen free stuff to play their new game. We get the Spitfire Mark II-B. I think this is also one that's in Aces. Yep, it's the 20mm Hispano one. And then we'll go Mark V-B Spitfire. And let's see, I'm gonna order these 2. Order and select crew later. Order and select crew later. Get this to 3. So we're up to 4. That's 5. And I can get the Mark V-B. I think the B and the B-Trop are very similar, at least as far as gameplay experience would be concerned. So I'm not too keen on that. And then since there is the Mosquito line, we probably should go down this one. We have 34,000 research available though, so yeah, we'll go down. We'll get the Hurricane Mark V. Once I order this, order and select crew later. We'll go to Typhoon Mark 1-B. And we'll go to Spitfire F Mark 9. So, let's go order and select crew. And we're going to put it on... I'm going to regret this, but I'll put it on our other crew. It's going to be a low level crew, so we're going to have all the blackout mechanics that we want. It's going to be kind of quite bad. But this will get us up into that 5-0 bracket if we need to go. Looking at this, so I can show pretty readily. We got old femboy fertilizer here. We got some. I think we got a new picture. Oh, we can get my grandma's picture. And be like, yeah, look, I'm grandma. Let's see, where's... I like the other one better. Someone should get me the big booba pack. I'll use big booba. Save changes, achievements. Okay, so just looking at this, if we go to statistics here, simulator, 4 games, about 3 hours of playing Mustang Mark 1A, has netted most of the planes you're going to get in aces. I think maybe 4 more games and we'll have more. Because we got to get to the Mosquito. And then, yeah, I think we'd be those guys there. So let's see what we got for games. Let me see what I got for looking at the stream as well. Is it a fertilizer out of femboys or for femboys? That's a good question. Maybe it's for the ones that are really into gardening. I don't know. We didn't think about it. We didn't think about it that much. Okay, so we got 4050 today. You got Labubu. 4050 Tunisia. I'm going to look at the Tunisia first. Do I have any boosters? I got 1 booster. And... Let's see, accelerated training. I can get a little bit of crew points. I'm going to say this Tunisia might be a little bit better. So the number 4 in the bottom thing, that's the number of games that I've played total so far. Now, we'll see if we get, like, the 90 people from last night. I have a a sneaking suspicion that we didn't really have 90 people watching the stream last night, and that was a glitch in the Matrix, or some kind of like astroturfing. I don't know. I don't think I'm that popular. I do like all of the rain clouds in the desert. Yeah, allegedly on the stream last night there was like there was one point there was over 100 people here. At least on the numbers. The chat interaction didn't really seem to be much different, so I am kind of suspicious. Maybe we game the algorithm, and maybe there's like a conspiracy theory to have Aces of Thunder in the title, and then all the bots will show up to boost the visibility of the game. Maybe, I don't know. Need a good conspiracy theory to make. Auto radiator is off. I mean, it possibly. I don't know. I don't think YouTube does like. I didn't get any notification like you're being rated or anything like that. Like I probably stream on Twitch too, but I do be a little bit lazy. I don't think our team's going to capture the point. But I am going to try to fly through it and at least hit a couple people. Well, you only see 7 on your end right now because that's how many is here right now. I'm talking about last night. I streamed last night and I had like that little number that tells you how many there is. That was up to like in the mid 90s. I think I finished up and it was down into the 50s, but so 8 points gone. Now, to maximize our grind potential, we really only need about 2 kills and then return to base if we really wanted to do it that way. There was one that split off. Jorg says that my kill got stolen. I mean, I should have just shot sooner and faster. Okay, I don't know. EG55. Oh, green tracers, let's go. E4 bombers. The strategy called Death Blossom. That's AI. Nope, it's not. I'm gonna go play the objective here. So there's some bombers up right now. And I've got 456 rounds of canned ammo. Should be enough. One down. Oh, that's a player. The Frosette. Oh, shit. Red snow. I'm going to try to get up to about 2,000 meters here. Once I get to 2,000, I'll level off, gain speed, go back for the bombers. If we can get the bombers, or we can get the point, if we get both of them, it'll give us a ticket advantage, I think. We're looking 4,100 versus 38. I think it's winnable. No, he's killing us all. Alright, where's the red snow? Got two to the right. Alright, where'd the one go? That looks Japanese shaped. Nah. Problem I'm running into is there's a lot of people in that point, and a lot of them have a decent bit of energy. I can't really go in below them and do anything besides just fly straight across. As soon as I get into a turning fight, I will have a couple people on me. In this case, hoping that he'll respond to the Spitfire as opposed to just being glued to me, but it looks like he just wants to be glued to me. So I'll just drag him for a little bit. Get to neutral merge. And you get shot down. So we didn't get the point. We still have destroy bombers at D5. Yeah, I did not get the kill on the 109. Got really close to it, but teammate was like, I don't want to hit him for the first like 30 minutes, and then he finally decided to do it. A guy just suicide bombed a tank. Should be all of them. And that will keep us high enough in the points requirement to get our full useful actions rewards, I think. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Every time I need to like just stop looking at menus. I was probably staring at the guy too. Russia, yeah, Russian guy. I can go get the A point. Enemy attackers, C4. I want the LA7. C2 surveillance. know there was a plane that I was looking at that was in front of me. Oh, there's one up there. I'm gonna summon an enemy to be behind my tail. The 4 is for the total number of games that I've played so far in the plane in total. Because the premise is to see how far in a tech tree that I can get with kind of minimal investment compared to the $35 that Aces of Thunder costs. And currently for a single plane in 4 games, I basically have 2/3 of the airplanes in the British tree in Aces of Thunder, plus the I mean all the ones obviously in between them too. So I'm using the British Mark 1 P-51 as well for the premium bonus, with the kind of the premise being you want to play the game and immediately step into World War II combat, as opposed to going through biplanes and stuff like that and kind of starting out as a free-to-play player. Micah asks, are biplanes dead in Sim, or are the people that play them? I mean, fucking yay. It's always. Daroski. I mean, biplanes in Sim are going to be very slow, very dead. Yeah, we're up to 17. Not too bad. Not too shabby. Hopefully with this cap point, the game will be over. Let's see. One more. Alright, there we go. Mission successfully failed. Get to the real part of the game here. So about 20,000 RP. Got mark of distinction for Blaine. And we go here, and we got the F Mark 9 Spitfire. So we'll put that, order and select crew later. And now we can go so we got this one. So that gets us the best Spitfire in Aces of Thunder. We've got the best Typhoon in Aces of Thunder. But we don't have the Mosquito yet. So let's go Bowfighter. So we'll get the Bowfighter. Vickers Tempest. And so in basically another game, we will have the complete Aces of Thunder tree unlocked for Britain, at least. And we got to increase game counter to 5. I think we're up to 5 total in this plane. So British, total of 5 games. 40 kills, 9 deaths, at least on paper. And you can see there's no RB games. I'm not kind of fudging the numbers here by playing it in a different mode and go, aha, see, we're getting there so quickly. So we got that. Let's put some... Don't have those. Don't have those. We'll do this because it's big and... do I have any experience with a Bowfire? Seems like a kind of a mid plane. Yeah, I have a good bit of experience in it, and it's a horrible plane. In game, it's pretty bad. I think I have both of them spaded on feet picks, and they're, in all honesty, it's a very meme plane. It's a very kind of like goofy, and you can win some fights in it, but you're really just kind of hoping the other guy doesn't know. It's not a knower. So let's go to simulator battles again. Why do I... Okay, battle pass, battle task, the top, ground. Nope, I don't want that. So I need an assist. For special task, I need a medal. So I need to get an assist. This will be an easy one. Destroy player vehicles using a fighter. That's too easy. Just make sure this is classified as a fighter. Kursk, we got Smolensk, Denmark or Denmark. We are going to go to the Kursk. And what I'll do this time is I'm going to alternate sorties with the Typhoon 1B, with the level nothing crew, and the Mustang Mark 1. Hopefully that'll allow me to spade one and get credit for the other. Let's see what we got here. Let's see this thing have all the trims. It's got all the trims. It's good. No aileron trim control. This is a little bit different, where the engine rotates the opposite direction than other planes, so its prop torque effect is actually opposite. So taking off, instead of using right rudder, I use left rudder. But now let's we're gonna be fighting that real G-lock effect too. So enemy team is going to be mainly a lot of yaks. Looks like our team is really sad. P-51D5 is a very bad plane. B-239 might be okay, although I bet you maybe. Or LF Mark 9 Light Step. He's got experience in it, so he might be a good guy to play off of. So we might have a chance, we might not. Viplars will be in LA7, Yak 3. Rather trying to outmaneuver those planes in a stock Typhoon with the new flaps might be problematic, but we'll see what happens. I only got 13 minutes of fuel though. I think I took min gas. Yeah, so Yak 3, the E, the Ermin's Yak. So one less gun, a little bit lighter. Red Snow, that's the guy from previous game. He's in Key 61 now. What was the rule? Attack into the sun? Yeah. Attack the sun. Like our yeah, fuck off. I'm flying away from that. So I've got 3 chasing. I'm so dead here. I can't. Yeah. Let me see. I gotta get the stupid cover call thing set up too. There we go. So what I'm probably going to do is I'll probably table the Typhoon for this match, just due to the conditions aren't really conducive to trying to use a level 1 crew. I think you can get the Yak 3 and Aces of Thunder as well. Which, if that's the case, that's kind of like RIP GG for most people in that game. Joe! Ah, what? So I got one guy below me. Not below me. crash into each other. Kept the speed, so we're okay. It looks vaguely 109 shaped. Could be Spitfire. As I was saying last night about like objectives not having gravity and not really making any sense, like I think this is a pretty good example. We're at 6,000 versus 2,000 tickets. Like the enemy team has 3 times the number of tickets, and the total objectives done are 3.4 tons of bombs dropped, about 10 AI air targets, and that seems to be it. Like, why did we just lose more tickets? I don't know why. Our side has more ground target kills, same amount of bombs dropped basically. A third of the tickets. Make it make sense. You know what's gonna happen? I'm gonna get start shooting the bombers, and freaking dude's gonna use an apparition spell to be behind me. Sure enough, there we go. Oh, it's Japanese. Of course it is. Lightstep, I'm counting on you. Save me. Save me, Mr. Lightstep. Thank you, Mr. Lightstep. Let's see. The flap damage, RTD. Milkman asked, should you enable camera shake for props? And I say yes, but I have it on, but kind of like very, very much turned down. I think that camera shake it gives you this audio effect too. That gives you kind of a good indication of when your plane's gonna wing stall. So if I go, I think shake. Camera shake for me is at 50% right now. And I think that's fine. The one that I do have turned off or turned down is Sense of Flight. I have Sense of Flight turned down to 10. If you turn this all the way up, it's real, like, watch what happens when I move my head. Like, you see how it just, like, my rudder and my head bobs like this? That's Sense of Flight, and that's I don't like that. So we're gonna go find Sense of Flight again, and we'll turn it back down to 10. That like head bobbing effect really gets really jarring in top tier as well, because it's kind of like based on a factor of speed. So you'll just like do a little bit, and it'll be like you're flying with a freaking bobblehead the whole time, and it sucks. really good tree placement in regards to the runway here. So nothing too great out of that one. Ended up with 4 AI, 1 player. Technically 2 if you want to count the A7, me being a distraction as creditable. And we are going to take another loss. Which is fine because it doesn't have any effect on the research points, which is the thing that we're primarily concerned with. It does have an effect on SL earnings, but I'm sitting at 1.5 million, and for these tiers, SL for me at least is largely not very important. Like I think the spawn cost on this thing is 3,000 SL, so 1.5 million to divide by 3,000 is how many times I could crash in a row before I would run out of SL. So not too shabby. We'll fly past this guy, give him something to look at. Be like, so 8 points gone. So we got cover call south. And I am running the P51 at a 405 mode game. So this is kind of the hardest matchmaking that this plane faces. But enemy team is down to about 4 players, maybe 5. Yeah, it's 5 at a glance. We have 2 cover objectives, no destroys. Light step was the cover call, so I think he won that one, so he's probably fine. Nope, we're still getting another one. There's a fight over there. So Major Kukuri is won a fight against a KD4 with the worst P51 in the game. That's kind of amazing. Oh, I see it. Oh, this is two of them. This is both of those. Got both of them. You got both of them. Okay, time to go back for the landing bonus, and then I'm going to find a new game. This one will finish itself out. I'm not going to play against two guys, keep flying back and forth across. It's rather pointless, and I don't think there's... Well, as a destroy surveillance at C6, I can go do that real quick. Ba-ding! So either myself or this other P51 will get this surveillance here. I think he's higher and to my left. Okay, don't think he's going to recover from that, so... Back to the nearest airfield. So that will put another 8 kills on the P-51 scorecard. Okay, time to go look at other games. If you guys have any questions about flying props, I might be able to answer some of them. At least in the video game, not in real life. You get 52,000. You got a camo. Oh yeah, this one has like a good looking camo, I think. This lobby's split too, you can tell it's split. Based on the way that it is. There's only 2 people in one side of it. Oh, it has a bunch of camos. So they got that one. This was the one I just unlocked. Why is there 2 of them? Oh, there's invasion stripes and no invasion stripes. So that's kind of neat. Joanne, or Joan. Dublinsky. Dublinsky Polish. A Canadian camo. And a slightly different so I think of all of them. This one doesn't look bad. I do kind of like this one. This one looks really kind of clean. But we'll get that in a bit. We'll keep. Yeah, I mean, that looks okay, I think. So we got Rocky Canyon, Corson, Tunisia. Bulge. Denmark, Corson. Corson's the one that's split, though. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. And so the, I think this bulge is going to be a better option. And do upgrade that. F4 surveillance, so I'm going to have to fly all the way to the south. Attackers F5, also objectives in the south. It does appear we have a considerable number of people above the cloud layer. Like just looking at the cover calls, or the calls, we got 1100, 800, 3900, and 2600. So you got like 2 above, 2 below. It's kind of unfortunate that clouds are they're basically client side, but everyone's supposed to have the same cloud seed, but they do kind of migrate a little bit. So it is possible to have a situation where one guy has clouds and another guy doesn't. We got a question in here. Have you played the VB10, the 3.71? What's my opinions of them? I haven't really played them in any kind of like capacity beyond maybe 1 or 2 games, but I mean, I just kind of look at them as it's a plane with a lot of guns, big target, poor maneuverability, poor climb performance. I have no attraction to them as far as like being like, oh, I like this plane, so therefore I'll fly it just because. Like the Doe 335, I think for me is does stuff that's very similar and is awful, but I just like the Doe 335 because of the way that it looks. It looks really kind of goofy, and I've actually seen the real Doe 335 at the I think the Smithsonian Aviation Air Museum has one, and that thing is huge. It's like it's basically almost as big as a B-25. So it's a very funny plane. Whereas the BB-10 is just like, to me, it's a plane that just exists in War Thunder, so I don't have any kind of like inclination to really do anything with it. I'm sure it has maybe some application in ground sim, but I mean, I don't play it, so I don't have a real strong opinion of it. And I don't think there's a premium version, so I can't really test fly it either. Like, I like my P-51s, I like my 190s, I like my 109s, I like all the kind of standard stuff, Yak 3, Yak 9, LA-7. Don't like the I-185 so much. Love the P-47. I'm okay with the P-47 November, but it's a plane that exists. I do wish it had like better camouflage, like a better skin. Maybe make it a little bit more visually interesting. I do like the Beaufighter, even though the Beaufighter is horrible, like very bad. I like the Mosquito, even though the Mosquito has like the goofy. They put the gun sight so that it doesn't line up with the pilot. It's like both pilots, I guess, share the gun sight, which is, I don't know, man. I don't know why they did it that way. So I'm gonna patrol below the clouds, I think. Because there is no surveillance, there's allied attackers. Oh, hey, a bomber. Go, 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 go. And we fly away. Rank does not matter. That looks like a plane. Oh, that's the U-14. And another one. Micah asked, any tips for spotting planes? This there's a couple. Dots render in differently if you zoom in, zoom out. It's easier to spot some things from below. A lot of what I do is operating around kind of context clues. So I know right now that we have guys in the A point that are on our team. It's not capping. The AA right there is shooting at something. And so I zoom in, I don't see dots, but I zoom out, I see dots. I saw some green tracers, so green tracers is typically Axis. I did have one guy pass below me, and I do see this guy right here. So this guy might have came in with a bunch of speed. Like I find spotting and props to be a little bit less oppressive than in top tier jets, because top tier jets you can be engaged by guys. The missile range is further than the render range, whereas I think the render range for dots on this is like 12 or 24 kilometers or something like that. That, and I'm always kind of looking over my left and right shoulders, because that's usually where enemy players are going to appear from. Right now, looking at the thing, XA-38 got killed, so I'm going to assume that maybe he's at a ground battle here, and I would maybe start looking towards the ground battle to potentially see something. Same thing with the cover calls. There is a 0, so like right now what I'm looking for is like a crash site. I saw some tracers there, but that's AA shooting at probably friendlies. Cover call is near there, so that means that there's definitely a guy in this direction. So I did see a dot. Now I don't see it, but now I see it. Don't see it. So now I know there's a plane right there. So it's kind of like a very faint bit, but then you see the wingtip vortices, and the wingtip vortices are a confirmation that's a player. And got that guy. So it looks like a 190. I lost sight of him. Let's do a descending turn here. So there was one that we just went head on with. It was right there, and he's just gone. That might be him back there. Well, I don't think I was fast enough to put that much distance between me and him. But what I'll do is I'll do a gentle turn here, with the idea that I don't want to just blow all my speed away. So, yep, that's 109. So he's one of these guys that wants to do the post-up thing. That's fine. So I have a feeling that guy is still behind me, but I don't see him. Like, has to be somewhere this direction. Like, maybe he got committed to a fight over this direction, but... with the way that guy was kind of approaching, get that. I'm going to overheat the engine here real quick. I don't want to do that. I'll go... Yep, that's the same guy. He's gonna go for the same kind of stuff. And we got him. And we got a cover call to the south. No, it's Alpacanator. It's the guy that made the calculator. He made the thing. It's Alpacanator. Could have fertilized him. And then Pavlika is gone. And we go... Milkman says, funny thing, he saw F4C with AIM-9L on hardpoint. I mean, I'd believe it. I think all AIM-9s are probably most of the way kind of backwards compatible. They should add F4C with AIM-9L to the game, but no flares, and then put it at just a BR where it either up tiers and gets blown up, or down tiers and blows everything else up. I think that's a great idea. Gaijin, heard it from me. Please give me 5% of the proceeds from it. Actually, I think an F4C with AIM-9L should just be like the German F4F early. Like, that plane has AIM-9Es and no flares. And we get an old event plane. It's one of the very first kind of pseudo top tier jets that Gaijin added as an event plane, where you could grind it and basically have a top tier plane but just worse. I am trying to make my fuel last a bit. B4, destroy bombers, E4. So I'll go air supremacy point, and then to bombers. Gaijin really loves runways with trees right in front of the threshold. Go here, left rudder, left rudder, right rudder. Boop. Yep. Gold medal, figure skating, go. Oh, Milkman says it's in the Evergreen Aviation Museum. Well, that means I've seen that plane before. I probably have pictures of it somewhere. Like, I think I went to Evergreen when they had the, a long time ago, they used to have, I think, a 190 Dora, if I recall correctly, and they had a 109 as well. And I think part of that collection got sold because the business that operates it or whatever was kind of, like, wasn't doing too hot, I guess. I think it got sold to the, like, Paul Allen in Seattle, I think. But I've also been to the Boeing Museum in Seattle, which is also quite good. They have some really neat planes. Like, they got a the only Yak 9 U, I think, in the United States. And of course, they got a P-38 and a bunch of other stuff too. And go up here to the air capture point. It might have been in the Spruce Goose building. I thought so. I was. So I went to Evergreen a long time ago when it was the single building. I went very recently when they've added the triple, like 2 other kind of buildings to it. And I thought that they moved that F4 to one of the buildings with the modern aircraft, but I can't recall specifically. I've also been to one of the aviation museums, I think in Denver, Colorado. That's was okay. It's quite good, but was mainly newer aircraft. So kind of 1960s and later vintage stuff. And I've been to all a lot of the aircraft carrier museums too, and the battleship museums. Like I probably, unfortunately, know more about the inner workings of boats and ships than aircraft, due to reasons of living on them. That's an airplane, but that's a Zero. I don't think I want to fight that right now. I think I'm just going to do the flyaway maneuver. It looks like a 264 as well. Yeah, I'm gonna just not fly directly into the back end of its tail gunners. So I dove down because I know the Zero's around, and I know that there's more enemy planes at this point than there is friendlies. Got Green Guadaca destroyed. I have seen the German MiG-23 they have there. I have pictures of the adipose fin, I guess, the thing. It's kind of really interesting of like how they just kind of grafted on that like little bottom fin to make it work. That's Lavochkin. I think the thing I'd really like to do though is get into some of the archives and get some of the primary documents regarding pilot training. I think that'd be a really neat historical rabbit hole to go down. Just because we have a lot of kind of anecdotal stuff of, oh, boom and zoom and this and that and whatnot, but I don't think anyone's done a real conclusive dive into the different tactics and kind of what was not the notional ability, but like what was the specific execution. Green Guadaca. Gaduka. Okay, there's a capture. Cover at 1,000. Nope. So I saw the one, and he was going this way. I didn't see an enemy plane. I do see one over here. I don't know if it's enemy or not. Okay, Spinoza just got killed by a 109, so that means that second guy that was in there that we kind of spotted out of the corner of our eye was Timothy, but Timothy just crashed. So I got a couple of kills. I'm going to RTB. I'll get the landing bonus. Team Zabika. So we got covers. We have no AI objectives to destroy. I mean, I think I saw a couple of, well, I didn't see the B-29 flight manual there, and I didn't get to, like, look at it. The big question that I have is really kind of, like, tracking and tracing the impacts of the change in fighter tactics of the U.S. Army Air Corps in late 1943, early 1944. With the introduction of the P-51 extended range P-47 variants, and what the overall kind of documenting kind of the collapse of the Luftwaffe's flight training program, I think would be a very interesting topic to cover. That, and I think another interesting facet is really kind of looking into the history of the Soviet Air Forces and how their training programs evolved from basically being non-existent early war to what they were after the war, and how they kind of adapted over time. Let me see what else is going on. The game's gonna freeze for a second. I got a tag in Gorilla Takes. So Dead Inside wants me to look at the Whalvis World War II fighter tier list. I may be in here. Let me see if I can do a. Let me look at this real quick.
My personal.
Is this for? Oh, it's Aces of Thunder. Oh, Jesus Christ. Like, After this game, I'll do a Whalvis review, Aces of Thunder tier list, I guess. And I'll dead inside to watch stream. Cover bombers D1, no destroys. Okay, so... Oh my god, this is a horrible tier list. What the fuck? Alright, I gotta go. 1 second. Okay, and we're back. I mean, I already know what the tier list looks like because someone screenshotted the overall thing, but I want to watch the video just to see what the opinion is. Although it is really interesting that I guess Gaijin's way of promoting the game is to send a joystick to content creators and like, hey, play this for us, we'll give you money. Because Defen just put out a video on Aces of Thunder as well, which was largely, I mean, apparently at least he got to actually play the game and play against players. I wouldn't I'd be leery of it. Like let's see what, like, I kind of want to see what the population of the game is in like 3 months, because when people are screenshotting peak player count of 77 total players in this game and it's still relatively new, it's like that's not a good sign, guys. It's gonna be that guy there. Got another capture point. Milkman says Japan isn't going to be good because of not having K84. I mean, Japan in Aces has J2M2, A6M3, Key 61, something else that doesn't matter. I think the Kate, but I think that lineup overall is pretty strong, especially for, like, you got to consider most of these guys that are probably brand new do not realize that running around at 550 kph in a P51 is actually a goated strategy, where the goated strategy is turn one direction, win. I'd say overall maybe the best plane in Aces of Thunder is going to be a combination of J2M2, Yak 3. They don't have the LA7, they have the LA5, which is a little bit worse. I think the Spitfires will be thoroughly mediocre. I think they're both early ones. Cover bombers. Destroy surveillance F3. We got a backup call. And the backup's at 800 meters, so we'll go. This guy needed backup. I'm not seeing him. ME410 destroying tanks. And he crashed. Green Gaduka. Speaking of green, I kind of want to get some Chile Verde. Chile Verde. Chilean Verde. It's going to be RB25, yep. Bam, 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 bam. Target destroyed. Bam, bam. bam, 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 bam. Bam 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 bam. I feel like I've been flying around enough that eventually one of these guys would just pop up behind me. Yes. Yeah, you got the 264 in space. I'm gonna go do this supremacy point. No, Timothy switched to 264 as well. So what I think I'll do is I'm going to probably finish this one up. See how many planes I unlocked, and I think I might call that for the stream. Because there are other things I would like to do today. Brush up on my stoichemistry or stoichemistry or whatever, and be like, actually, if you burn propane, it produces 300 micrograms of carbon monoxide that you can then grind up into your little pipe here and smoke it. Oh, yeah, fight. Alright, and I win. You gotta get that Elvis tier list. Oh, Japanese plane. Green, good to go. Deus Ex Volkswagen says that the enemy is shooting down my bullets. I mean, if you want to play top tier, they'll literally do that. Okay, back to an airfield. Unfortunately, I think this northern one's going to be closest. So we have no destroys. So I'll let this one kind of play itself out. I'm not going to stick around to this because it's kind of like sleepy nap time boring. But what I'll do is I'm going to land and then I'll wait while I stream this the Alvis tier list of what's the best plane in Aces of Thunder. because they are down to 3 players. And we spin. See, this one should be ending soon enough. We'll leave this one. Let's see what we got for upgrades. We got 414. So there we go. We got one of the games that we were in earlier is over. So we've got that. Go research on the Mosquito. Dying once in the Typhoon got us the fuselage repair. Neat. Go Radiator, I guess. And I think once that game that we were in ends, we will end up with the Mosquito, and maybe enough to, let's see, is there anything I can purchase here? I have purchasing, probably get the Mark V. Yeah, well, the clip wing is 13K. It's 26K. Probably still get, I still have to get the Mark V. Because Mark V, Mosquito, so that'll be 3, 4 planes, 5 planes. Could probably get to the Firefly if I really want to. The Firefly is the other British thing that's in the Aces of Thunder game. But let me figure out this window capture thing here real quick. Window capture. If I do that, okay, yep, there's that.
belongs nowhere else but S tier. And there you have it. My personal.
Okay. I think I figured out how to do it. Okay, yep, okay. Alright, let's get the Alvis, the Whalevis.
Shots on. No.
Don't care.
Second World Wars. What makes this game interesting is the fact that it's designed fully around virtual reality, which means you can not only look around as if you're really sitting in the cockpit of your aircraft, but you can also use your VR controllers to directly interact with your aircraft's throttle, joystick, and build.
Blah, blah,
That said,
blah.
Aces of Thunder can also be played in a more traditional manner.
Don't care.
Within Aces of Thunder, multiplayer matchups are historical. For example, the Americans can fight both the Japanese and the Germans, but they'll never be matched up against the British. And as such, comparing UK and US fighters doesn't make much sense given the context of Aces of Thunder. So instead of making...
Well, I mean, that is kind of an interesting facet of the game. Let me make sure we are... Okay, I gotta turn the window capture on. We do that, and I put it above the game capture. Aha! There we go. I did it. I did the thing. So let's just start here.
Making a tier list based on objective performance, I'll be ranking all of the aircraft in this list based on vibes, as well as how much fun I had flying them. Also, in Aces of Thunder, there are 24 unique aircraft. This includes 4 planes from World War I, as well as 5 different World War II heavy fighters / dive.
Alright, so we got Mark 5B, Typhoon, Firefly, Mark 1, Hurricane. So all of these planes we already basically, I think we're going to unlock this one, and then we'll have that. We'll have that. So we actually have the F Mark 9, so we're actually ahead of Aces of Thunder, but we don't have the Firefly yet. But we'll get the Mosquito.
Dive bombers. With all of that in mind, forward. It's got a powerful engine, making it relatively quick, and the airframe is overall very decent for energy fighting. But perhaps more importantly, this plane is incredibly stable. As such, I think the P-51C makes for a great aircraft if you're a newer player, as it's really easy to fly and very forgiving. That said, unfortunately, that's where the positives end. I found that in Aces of Thunder's multiplayer matches, most of the time, the plane with the best turn performance is the plane that wins the dogfight. And
well, yeah, duh. Kind of like, yeah, we're in the plane with the best turn performance wins the dogfight. Yeah, duh.
And unfortunately, the P-51C isn't the best turn fighter. It's fine against the Germans, but when you're going up against the Japanese, which overall have amazing turn fighters, which we'll get to later, I found that the P-51C just ends up feeling a little bit mid. In fact, I would argue that the P-51 is so mid that it functions as a great middle-of-the-road benchmark for the rest of the tier list. As such, I'll be putting the P-51C in C tier. Now...
Okay. Okay, P-51C in C tier, off to a strong start. Also, I'm looking at my... I want to watch this video because I know it's going to be fucking abysmal dog shit. And I can talk so much about this new stupid rifle more than even anything else.
Now, before we move on, the keen-eyed among you will probably have noticed that the gameplay in the background has not been recorded in VR. And, of course, when you're not playing this game in VR, you can't use your VR controllers to fly the aircraft. Thus, I've resorted to using a HOTAS set. And this is where I want to give a huge thanks to Thrustmaster. Like I mentioned, this video is sponsored by Aces of...
Yeah. We get to the real reason why this video even exists is because they send you free shit to review the game, and wow, you got...
Now, I'll admit I'm not the TOG HOTAS set, which includes an A10C replica throttle and joystick.
Isn't this, like, the whole setup, like, reasonably, like, kind of expensive? Like, I don't know, man.
Now, I'll admit I'm not the biggest knower of sim hardware, but I can tell you that the toggle switches on the base of the throttle sound and
don't care.
the next aircraft. The P-47 felt a lot like the P-51, just slightly worse. In theory, this aircraft does have some strengths, but in practice, many of those were just basically completely irrelevant to fighters available for the US 1C in D tier. Out of the free fighters available for the US, the P-63 is by tier. Out of the free fighters available for the US, the P-63 is by far the most interesting.
The M7 is a stupid design. It's a really stupid idea.
Snappy, making it difficult to fly and honestly very unforgiving if you get close to its limits. But if you can master the airframe, I sense that this would likely be a relatively strong pick. That said, because this thing's so unforgiving, I still find it hard to give it a high rating. I do think the P-63 is slightly better than the P-51, primarily because the guns are more interesting and because the cockpit is slightly better, but still, I'm putting this thing in C tier. Next up...
So you have all 3 American fighters so far in C tier or lower. The only one that I find to be uncontroversial is the P-47 in the context of the game. Can understand why that's C tier. The other 2, though, is just kind of definitely a sign of really not putting in a lot of time or effort into either the P-63 or the P-51C.
Are the German fighters. The Bf-109G2 and the Bf-109F4 are basically identical. There are some subtle differences, but those differences weren't all that noticeable given the context of Aces of Thunder's multiplayer. Importantly, I think these two both...
Alright, so this is a bot.
When you push them close to their limit, they do get a bit snappy, but overall, their turn performance felt fine, and they also felt like relatively decent energy fighters. I don't think they're the best dogfighters in this game, but they were genuinely satisfying to fly. Or at least they are for the most
like, no wingtip vortices, that's not a player.
Because unfortunately they do get terrible cockpit visibility. In fact, if you're trying to look behind you, you can't. There's just a big plate blocking your view. And as such, while I think these are competitive fighters, they were a bit frustrating to dogfight with. And therefore, I'll be putting both of the Bf-109s in B tier. The Focke-Wulf 190 is, bad. I mean, its guns are fine, its cockpit...
So the thing about the 109 that you said about the cockpit visibility being bad, the G2 cockpit in War Thunder is worse than the F4 cockpit, and it's just due to like a perspective shift, where the F4 you can kind of sort of look behind you. I really don't find the cockpits of the 109s to really be all that bad compared to the P-47, the Razorback, I think is a good example of when it's really bad, where the bulkhead actually genuinely blocks a good portion of your field of view, and in a plane like that is rather large, rather difficult to deal with.
But visibility is decent, but the flight performance is just not that great. Technically, if you get good at managing the flaps, then you could get some extra turn performance out of this thing, but overall, I just rather fly the Bf-109s. I'm putting the Focke-Wulf 190 in E tier.
E tier? I think it should be like F tier. Freaking crap. He didn't mention whether or not they modeled the engine overheating in the A4 very quickly. But if you look at all of these planes that are mid and bad, they're basically planes that require speed to be usable. Basically hit and run, boom and zoom type fighters. The big difference though is the 190 is going to be about the same speed as the P-47 D22 at most altitudes below 5,000 meters. But it will turn worse and it will overheat, where these planes are, relatively speaking, not necessarily all that fast. On the other hand, the P-63A5 is kind of middling for speed. It's fast, but it's kind of like top third. And then the 51C is very, very, very fast, though. So this kind of putting this down here in C tier is to me is really silly.
Here. Unlike the Germans, the British get 3 very different airframes. First up, let's look at the Spitfire. On paper, this thing is awesome. The cockpit visibility is great, the guns are decent, and the flight performance...
So, let's take a moment to count the number of wingtip vortices. So I'm going to actually reset So if I have the counter? So I do have the counter. So I can move the... Let's see, I'm going to move the counter, the quitter counter here. And we're actually going to use it to count the number of vortices in the video. So just remember 6. Because I'm curious in the whole course of this video if there's any like actual player interaction.
Is very competitive.
So, not
However,
a player.
It's also quite treacherous. While the Spitfire can turn incredibly well, there is a very fine line between turning very well and turning so much that your wingtips start to snap all over the place. And when that happens, it's very easy for this plane to enter a flat spin. Long story short, while the Spitfire is definitely a competitive dogfighter, it can also be quite a handful to fly. Therefore, while I do think this plane is a bit more interesting than the Bf-109s, I'll be putting it in B tier.
And overall, not a big surprise. Sim Spitfire flight model is modeled as like slightly unstable. It does tend to porpoise around a bit, and a lot of people do find it difficult to fly accurately. So I mean, that's a whatever.
Out of every aircraft that'll be on this tier list, the Typhoon Mark 1B late has been the most difficult to place. Not only does it arguably have the best cockpit in the game, but it also comes armed with 4 20mm cannons, and its flight performance is very good for energy fighter. Unfortunately, being a good energy fighter doesn't seem to get you very far in Aces of Thunder's multiplayer matches. And as such, I found that dogfighting
None of these players that he's fighting are players.
the Typhoon was quite difficult. Now, to be clear, that could very well be a skill issue, but given the fact that this tier list is based on my enjoyment of each aircraft, I'm going to be putting the Typhoon in C tier. That said, I did enjoy flying this plane more than the American offerings, and as such, this will be the best C tier plane on this list. Britain...
Jorg says, isn't Aces just copied from some old version of War Thunder? Maybe it still has the OP climb afterburner. I mean...
Its last fighter, if you can call it that, is the Firefly. This thing goes straight into F tier. It feels sluggish, heavy, and overall isn't very good. It feels like the Soviet LA-5 suffers from a similar issue. To be clear, this thing is nowhere near as bad as the Firefly, but it still feels a lot more sluggish than what I was expecting. So even though the cockpit visibility of this thing is fine and its guns are great, I'll be putting it in D tier.
Okay. Interesting.
In fact, I'll be putting it slightly behind the P-40.
Okay, that's... So the LA-5, I don't know how they have it modeled in Aces. So the LA-5 has a lot of elevator compression in an older flight model. And in the newer flight model, they removed that elevator compression so that the plane actually does perform pretty well at high speeds, down to medium speeds. And it's a reasonably fast plane. It's a little bit more maneuverable than something like, I'd say, the P-51C. Better acceleration, possibly. Should be very, fairly competitive in the Aces of Thunder context. I think placing it down in D tier is rather... I mean, you can kind of see, a trend developing here. It doesn't turn well, therefore it's bad.
47. Fortunately, the other two Soviet aircraft more than make up for the lackluster LA-5. Let's start with the Yak-3. In my opinion, this plane is incredible, especially compared to the German aircraft that it goes up against. It's got phenomenal cockpit visibility, great guns, and very good flight performance. In fact, the flight performance of the Yak-3 is so good that I often found myself effectively running circles around the enemy. All in all, I think this plane easily deserves a spot in A tier.
I would put it in S tier for Aces, but just looking at our
aircraft that it goes up against.
Clip here.
It's got phenomenal cockpit visibility, great guns, and very good flight performance. In fact, the flight performance of the Yak-3 is so good that I often found myself effectively running circles around the enemy. All in all, I think this plane easily deserves a spot in A tier. The Yak-9T is the Yak-3's weird brother. These two planes are effectively identical, except the Yak-9T trades in one machine gun in exchange for a much larger main cannon. And in my opinion, that cannon is incredibly fun to use. For one, it's still mounted directly in the nose of the aircraft, making it relatively easy for you to line up your shot. However, because the fire rate of this cannon is also relatively low, you have to be very deliberate.
My
about
God,
when
the
you
gun
pull
sight, put the
trigger.
gun sight in
And
the middle.
honestly, almost nothing else in this game is more satisfying than timing your shot perfectly and watching your 37mm shell blow apart the enemy's aircraft. So while the Yak-9T is arguably a bit harder to use than the Yak-3,
These are all bots. They're all they're bots. There's no wingtip vortices. Like they're just.
In my opinion, it's also a lot
Like-
more satisfying and
Like, look at it.
entertaining.
This is-
Therefore, while I'm
This is
putting
no
both of
different than
these
me
in
just
A
doing
tier,
the aim
I'm putting
practice
the
mission.
Yak-9T
If I do the aim
in front
practice
of the
mission, it's
Yak-3. And
it's
with
just the
that,
same
we've
thing.
arrived at the last nation. Japan, and
S tier,
arguably
everything
we
S
saved
tier,
the
S
best
tier.
for last. Out of the 3 fighters available for Japan, the Kai-61 is probably the least interesting. Though that's not to say it's bad. In fact, I think this plane easily belongs in B tier. However, I am putting it slightly behind the Spitfire, as I simply found the Kai-61 to be a lot more forgettable. The same can't be said for the J2M2. When I first flew this plane in VR, I was kind of taken aback at how absolutely massive the cockpit feels. Like, seriously, your mom could almost fit in here. Jokes aside, the J2M2 felt very satisfying to fly. Not only does it seem to turn very well compared to the American aircraft that you're going up against,
Did I see a wingtip vortice? Did I see one?
it felt very satisfying to fly. Not only does it seem to turn very well compared to the
No.
American aircraft that you're going up against,
No.
but more importantly, it's also pretty good at holding on to energy. And as such, it feels relatively easy to just throw this plane around while simultaneously clowning on your competition.
Well, yeah, it's a J2M2 against things that are slower and worse than it in most situations. Like, this should easily be in like the S tier as far as like, especially for playability's sake. J2M2 top speed on the deck is a little bit faster than the 109s. The climb rate is very similar to an LF Mark 9 Spitfire, especially at low altitudes. And then its turn performance is also kind of close to the F Mark 9 Spitfire. It's not quite there. I think the F Mark 9 is a little bit better. LF Mark 9 is a good, noticeable clip better in sim, but like yeah. Well, you're clowning on bots, man. There's bots. It's just
shreds the enemy's
it's
aircraft,
just-
and you end up with a fighter that simply belongs at the top of A tier. Last, but certainly not least, the A6M3 Zero. Honestly,
be S tier.
This
It's gonna be
thing
S tier.
is just
S tier.
straight up
S tier.
nuts.
S
In
tier.
fact,
S
I
tier.
don't think it's fair that this aircraft gets to go up against the stuff that the Americans have.
Okay.
For context, this plane really only has 2 weaknesses. For one, it's relatively easy to set on fire, though that's basically irrelevant as long as you don't get hit. 2,
Well, yeah, it's really easy to not get hit when there's nobody playing the goddamn game. There's
0 is relatively slow,
like
especially
Barnaby there. We got a
compared
Barnaby,
to the American
that catchy.
aircraft that you're going up against. However,
No
in the context
wingtip
of Aces of
vortices.
Thunder's multiplayer, I haven't found this speed difference to be a problem.
Because you're fighting goddamn bots. They're just they
Or even
don't do
remotely
anything.
relevant. Thus, what you're left with is a plane that's effectively the perfect
This is a
dogfighter.
review of like
Not
what
only
plane's
does it
the
have
best for
decent
killing
guns and relatively good
fucking
cockpit
bots.
visibility, but most importantly,
Where's the
it
vortices?
has
Like
flight
where's the
performance
player?
that is simply unmatched by any other World War II fighter in the game, at least in terms of turn performance. And given that turn performance seems to be the most decisive factor in Aces of Thunder's multiplayer, in my opinion, the A6M30 belongs nowhere else but S tier. And there you have it.
There's not a single player kill in this whole entire game. There's no like it, bruh. This whole tier list is based on playing a game that is empty. There's nothing there.
Not only
Like
does
let's go look at the Defin video because let me click back onto the game and okay. So we got more stuff unlocked. We're gonna get the unlocking screen and then we'll watch the Defin video to see maybe they got rid of vortices in Aces of Thunder. Maybe I'm just coping. But 0, no vortices, no nothing that looked like a player kill in that whole entire review. So our game just got over. We got 29,000 RP. We did say that technically, oh wait, the Firefly. We get the Firefly, freaking piece of crap. But or, hear me out. Mark 5 Trop. And we'll go Blenheim line, I guess. 'Cause now we gotta get. We got a bow fighter. So we got to get the we got the mosquito. Let's get another mosquito. So we are in a total of 7 games, 57 kills, or 57 kills including AI. So about half of this is AI at least. Probably I'd even be conservative and say 2/3 of it's AI. Let's get our rewards here. Oh, we got Mark of Distinction, whatever this is. We have unlocked. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't think I counted this one yet. So 11, 12, 13, 14, around 14 or 15 planes. So Swag Donald asks, how is the Aces of Thunder looking for compared to War Thunder? It looks like shit. It looks like fucking abysmal dog shit. It's crap. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna look up the Steam charts. So let's see. I'll do this. So if we look at the Steam charts here, I'll do the window capture thing. I think we can pull this up. The peak players in the last 24 hours was 50. There's 49 people playing it right now. So that's what, within a month of launch you have a total player base of 50. 1 week, so the past week, the highest it gets up to is 80, down to 55, 77, so about 80 at its peak. This is probably weekends, so weekends you're probably looking at 80 people. 3 months, you don't even have 3 months, just max. Like you can kind of see, like you got the launch on February and just womp 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 womp, and it probably just is gonna like float around this like 60 to 70 players. Let's look at the Defen video, because Defen did a thing on the Aces of Thunder.
Friends know me as
Walmart.
a dog.
Brought to you by Walmart. Buy Walmart stuff.
Has been sponsored. They have given me a free copy of the game, and they have given me the Hotas Warthog from Trustmaster, which is honestly a pretty good stick, and I kind of regret not buying it earlier, but I'll get into that in a little bit.
Okay, so he got the game for free and got a, I don't know, $300 joystick. Don't care. Single player is stupid.
Cloud is going really fast, but that's not an issue because you're not trying to fight people at high speed in this game anyway, because the G-Log really is just that bad. Taking a look at the Spitfire Mark IIB, keep in mind that we only have 60 rounds per gun in the 20 mil, and it's an absolute pain in the ass to aim. The engine is so damn long that you can't see anything, and the nose is incredibly twitchy. The flight performance itself feels pretty decent. Jeez, fancy take. Get third party. Now, if you look.
Yep. So there is vortices in it. There is vortices because you can see that as he pulls.
But together with the slowness and the lack of energy generation, it just means that you're very often stuck in a low energy state.
There's a vortice. So
and I'm managing my speed here to see
vortice.
if I can actually lock him into a dogfight, because he is still a little bit faster, and if he notices me turning, he might just run away.
All right, so there's vortices. Hey, there's a player. This is a player versus player interaction. We can add one to the counter.
Instantly get on it, which I think we're gonna do.
We got
about
one
or two. Looking at this, I'm slowly out turning. I'm slowly creeping onto 6. He goes vertical, and I just stand.
Got one.
And I instantly have the shot. We saw his wing clean off. Luckily, this time it happened with a singular shell. That is not something that you can potentially rely on. Just killed me. That's why I'm no longer in this. Can in fact jerk off. I did try. And we are engaging a player in the 190. He had just killed me. That's why I'm no longer in the.
Let's see. We got vortices.
Now in the Mosquito, and I'm trying to run him down. So we go for the throttle drop. I'm gonna predict that he's gonna try to go there. I aim. I miss. That is just a skill.
That's vortices. That's 2. That's 2.
And he does. He inverts, but I'm going a little bit slower than him. And if he tries,
we got 2 players.
I'm very easily going to be able to follow him. And if he goes down, I might have a bit of an issue, which I'm going to need in this plane. I'm also getting engaged from the left, so I'm trying to put a little. Just that little bit later, he hits me with a single
vortice from him,
and I predict that he's going to go up. So I'm trying to get my shot here, but the nose is so twitchy, and I'm just too slow, and I'm not quite able to get the guns on target here.
That's vortices. That's 3. That's players.
I think my rudder pedal still works.
Holy moly!
We are going to disconnect in the middle of this fight, which onto his 6, and I just need to make sure actually moving. That's what is just going to absolutely lucky, maybe because he's pulling very violently. He turns his plane around, and I need to kill him.
That's a player. That's a player. You see the vortices on the wings.
He's going to just destroy, not gonna be flying around when your plane is actually burning. Most people bail out, and otherwise they will crash in due time if they and blow his wing.
Sorry, I'm skipping through some of this. I don't want to watch like 30 minutes of.
And I thought that I could complete the loop and slot him right behind it, and that's roughly what happens, but not quite. He is gonna be able to go vertical
probably
again, diving and picking up a little bit of speed. And instead of
come on, look, where's the guy? Where's the guy?
Horizontal, keep my rate a little bit higher as he burns off all the speed trying to go vertical. Now, if he keeps going vertical like that, eventually he will kill me.
Is there?
But this time
where's the
around,
vortices? Where's the vortices?
Nope. I got a bit of an angle, and I managed to basically one-shot him straight in the engine, and that's going to be, I think, kill number 3. Now you can see the damage there. It's not completely terrible, but the wing root is kind of hampering my ability on his 6, and he needs to do something. He tries to go vertical, but it doesn't really matter because with a P-47, it's only
no vortices, so it's.
P-28. So I'm gonna have a pretty easy time just
that's a bot.
This guy in half, and that's I think going to be kill number 3. So we fly away here. We're gonna try to reclimb a little bit because we are completely on the deck. We are incredibly vulnerable.
Oh. Okay, here we go. Look at this. Look at this. Here we go. Look at the players. Look at all the players. We got Aaron. We got generic name, generic name, generic name, generic name, generic name. There are no players in this game except for maybe this guy down here, Taro 818. That's it. Like, why would you buy this game that nobody's gonna play? This game that he's showing here, these are named bots. Here, I'll show you real quick. Go window capture, turn that off. Like, if I just go custom battles, create, and I just do my furball practice one, right? I got aviation, limited fuel, include bots, yes. Limited fuel, yes, no, apply. Ready, start. Like it's fucking it's dog shit. Like look, see, I have look at all these guys. Look at all the players. I have Goddard, Sava, Henry, Volkner, Malcolm, Yoshisuke Kito, Nikita, Gerhardt, Osip, Ackerley, Abre, Emery, Kichiro, Eric, Mortiz, Mario, Tentally, Femboy Fertilizer. These are all like. Why would you buy a game that has nobody playing it? Like. Alright, well, this is going to be my tier list for Aces of Thunder. The P-51 is bad because this P-36 is able to outturn me. And there you go. There's my review. There's my tier list, F tier. Like let me show how kind of like really astroturfed or manipulative this kind of like marketing campaign is for Aces of Thunder, because I find this interesting. So we got three player kills in review. Let's go. I think Greg's Airplanes did a review on it. So let's see, I'm going to scroll through Aces of Thunder, coming soon, 5 months ago.
My neighbor reported me for unsafe snow removal equipment after
Yeah.
his driveway.
Yeah, no, stupid. So I am going to just showcase the video on mute. Go through here, window capture. So this is a bot.
Describe Aces of Thunder generally as an entry. Right now I'm keeping my speed high. That's the only way the 198 board can keep up with the P51. It's a P51C, so that is a Merlin powered.
No vortices. No vortices at all. No, none.
At high speed I can turn with this guy. He's going to reverse his turn here, and I get some shots in. Those shots,
Like,
I don't know.
I think I'm not going to do it, but I'm almost willing to bet if we went through the whole entire video,
Over G here.
we'll find that
The 198
there's
really
no
fly, and Aces of Thunder don't overlook it.
no vortices, probably no players. Like, if you buy this game, you are getting scammed. Like, you are scamming yourself. So we'll go here, simulator battles. Let's see what we have. .40, 50. We got Dover Straight. So just to kind of, so we did look at the Steam charts, and we said that the overall was about 50 people right now. So if you look at that, so we got 50 people playing Aces of Thunder. If we look at Sim, this is probably over 50 games if you want to count the whole entire thing. If we only want to consider our narrow range BRs, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's 12, 13, 14 in one game. 14, 25, 26, 27, 28. 38, 48-ish. I'm going to say I want to count this as 20. 7 plus 6, 58, 59, 60. 70, 5, 9, 90, 97-ish. 107, 101 or 111, 121 ish, 21, 118. So we're already over 100. Just looking, and this is just looking at prop tiers in this game. 6 and 5, 2 and 2, 4 and 7, 10 and 4, and this will be an okay game. Ignoring all of the jet tiers, ignoring the Jets. 2-3-3-7, 2v2, 6v8, 5-3-6-3. That's going to be JU-288s. That Dover Straight. This is one that we were looking at. Some of the same guys as earlier. Timothy, whatever. 4050. Tunisia, 15v11. This will be a fun one. I'll probably join this one actually if it'll let me. Because I'll go Great Britain. Oh, skill checker and the Edelweiss soldier. Let's go get skill checked. Now, here's the thing. I don't think Aces of Thunder has a game chat. Oh. This is going to be game 7. I'll put it in the corner here. Go boop. Jamma, Mama Jamma here. Ronaldo. Like one of those names that you think is a bot, but it's actually a player. Bathhouse Naburta. stupid. Alright, I'm breaking off of that guy. Oh, fly away! Fly away! I think his engine got hit. I have saved San Jorge. Let's see, we gotta scroll up and see the chat here. Is this plane the original Typhoon? I mean, this is the original P-51A. Or the P-51 Mustang Mark 1. I have the Typhoon, I just... God damn it. Micah asks, is the new Army rifle bad? It's very, 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 very bad. So what the Army has done is they have basically adopted a cartridge that is more powerful than 7.62 NATO. It's a composite, or it's a hybrid case is what they're calling it, where the basically the base is made out of steel or some kind of steel alloy, where they are hopping the chamber pressure to 80,000 psi. In comparison, most conventional rifles operate about 50,000 psi, with proof loadings, test cartridges, being loaded to about 60,000 psi. The big issue with that, though, is the rounds weigh more. They are basically the same weight and space as a 7.62 by 51, so a full-size battle rifle. And what they've done is they've given it now a 10.5 inch barrel, or 11 inch barrel, I think, is what the new upgraded A1 version is supposed to be, to make it even lighter and shorter. And what happens when you make a gun light and then you give it an 80,000 psi cartridge with a relatively heavy bullet going very fast is you get a lot of recoil, and your ammo capacity goes down by basically 50%. Instead of carrying 30 round magazines, you carry 20 round magazines. With all that being said, it means that if you don't change the way that you tactically engage things, say for instance during an ambush, during a react to contact, any kind of like normal battle drill, you're expected to put down a certain volume of fire that we have been trained around the M4. So you can do that. You can put down a certain volume of fire and then reduce it down as you maintain fire superiority and whatnot. With the M7, you can't do that to the same extent. You basically have to reduce your fire rate much sooner in those kinds of situations, or you just need to carry more ammo and either sacrifice other equipment, or more or less just weigh yourself down even more and sacrifice mobility. This is all for the capability to allegedly defeat level 4 body armor, which independent testing has shown that even the super duper high pressure rounds apparently don't do that, at least penetratively. Blunt force, maybe we can make that argument, but it doesn't really work. And what's going to happen, and what the Army's not going to do, is they're not going to change the training of infantry companies. They're not going to give people more range time. In fact, because the ammo is so expensive, you'll get even less range time. That effectively, you have a rifle that has a lower volume of fire, is less accurate, is going to be less accurate in the hands of most soldiers, is worse in pretty much every situation that is not a 300 to 500 yard engagement. And then you've added this all-in-one kind of IR illuminator scope thing that has its own bugaboos of trying to integrate everything into one little optic package that is not working very well. And the guns are not holding up to service. The barrel life on them is supposedly not very good. The accuracy standards that they're, I have some friends that work in this kind of industry, and they say that like some of the test groups that they're getting of like guns coming back from the field, and they actually test them through like a vice, is 10 minutes of angle, mechanical grouping, which is horrible. That is AK-47 accuracy times 2, basically. So you have like this really fancy cartridge that is basically a gigantic step backwards. A good comparison, a good historical comparison to make would be the Pattern 13 Enfield, which eventually became the Pattern 14 Enfield, the Mauser actioned Enfield that the Brits wanted to adopt following the Boer War. They did kind of the same thing, where they developed a 7mm cartridge, but because their previous experience against the Dutch and the Boers were being outranged, they made a very high pressure 7mm cartridge, and it didn't work very well. The testing was basically the rifle had too much recoil to shoot well, the barrel life was atrocious, everything about it was basically bad, minus the peep sight was good, the action was good, the rifle was still too heavy, and eventually what the Brits did is they made it into the Pattern 14, and had them contracted through America as kind of a substitute for the SMLE. After World War I, the Brits stuck with the SMLE, and then they eventually upgraded it into the number 4 Mark I and kept the .303 British caliber, but did integrate like a peep sight with it. But this new SIG gun is abysmal dog shit. The whole concept is flawed from the get-go. What the Army initially wanted was like a slightly better performing rifle for longer ranges, for kind of like the Afghanistan problem, to solve that. And they developed a cartridge that was more or less 264, 277 Army marksmanship unit or whatever, or AMU, that was, it kind of follows the form factor of 280 British, more or less, with a little bit higher pressure, but it wasn't designed for this like new 80,000 PSI thing. But SIG took that caliber, took that kind of thing, and decided to scale it up to an AR-10, and basically that's what the Army ended up adopting, which is bad. It's not a good caliber. It's not a good gun. It's probably going to get shit canned very quickly, and the only way that it wouldn't get shit canned is if the Army buys enough of them that they can't get rid of them quick enough. The machine gun, on the other hand, is a reasonably good idea, because that caliber can replace the 7.62, does things better than 7.62 even without the 80,000 PSI super duper fancy case. But it does remain to be seen whether or not the machine gun that SIG is making, the belt fed, is really as good as the Army says it is. And I find it really difficult to believe that that gun can replace the 240 or the Mag 58, I think is most people would call it overseas, because the 240 is heavy, but what it really is, the 240 is a Browning automatic rifle with an MG42 feed system. Basically, like mechanically speaking, that's the best way to put it. And those guns last forever. I mean, he says the M250 is a cook, much better performance than the M240. I mean, sure, I'll buy that when the guns are brand new. What does the gun look like after being through the the inventory system in 5 years? Because that's kind of like the 249 is a good example of that, where those guns are really good when they're new, but as they wear out, as they get a lot of service on them, they don't work nearly as well, and really your maintenance section and your base's maintenance makes a large difference in how well your saws work. Whereas the 240, that thing's just like, dirt, motherfucker, give me more dirt, and it just goes. It's the same reason the Army a long time tried to replace the M250 cal with, I think, a Fabrique Nationale gun that was a good bit lighter, and they found that they didn't want it because it didn't really hold up to long-term service. That we can still use Browning 50 cals that were built during World War One. Like there was the oldest one in Army inventory at one point during the Iraq War was from 1917. And I have very low expectations of the new SIG machine guns really holding up to that same kind of long-term use. Now, is it possible? Nah, sure, maybe. I'm just very, very skeptical. I'm also very skeptical of the way SIG has won most of the small arms contracts. But that's neither here nor there. I'll kind of don't want to, there's a War Thunder stream. There's War Thunder. It's not forgotten weapons or found weapons. Gotta save Private Jorge. Private Jorge has been saved. Milkman says, has SIG done anything about the P320? The P320. The very early ones had like that recall, but I think that was before the military adopted them. They didn't do anything after that. There was that incident with the Air Force pulling them out of service for a little bit and reissuing M9s because a guy had allegedly had a gun malfunction and kill his buddy. The Air Force did an investigation into that, and they have charged that guy with manslaughter, I think. And they have said that it wasn't the fault of the pistol, it was the fault of the guy actually doing something negligent, like basically pressing the trigger and causing it to go off. So a lot of the controversy around the 320 in regards to it being a self-detonating pistol is somewhat overblown, although the Maryland, I think, Highway Patrol has had some documented issues, and those were reported to the FBI, and the FBI did a whole report on it as well. But I carried an M17 for a bit. I didn't really have any strong opinions on it one way or the other. It was generic plastic pistol number 3. A Glock 19 would have been just as good. Really any kind of $500 polymer frame pistol. Like just pick one, buy a bunch of them, and there you go. Like pistols are so underused in kind of a modern military context. That from my position, I didn't really. I was like, I could carry an M17, or I could carry like 3 more magazines of ammo. I'm taking 3 more magazines of ammo, or I'm taking a big knife, or some kind of knife just for like, or more snacks. Like for me, it was just kind of like, why? I don't really want this. P51, skill checker's gone, Edelweiss soldier's gone. Japanese plane, God, I almost had him. DeWin says if you're using a pistol in combat, something has gone seriously wrong. There's a couple of situations where a pistol is better than a rifle. Namely, kind of like everything that you would expect, confined spaces, like legitimately confined spaces, not like, oh yeah, just room clearing in general. But if you are room clearing and then you have to clear behind like furniture or something, using a pistol might be a better option. Like switching for that would be okay. Obviously, fighting in a tunnel, better than a rifle because you can actually aim it in confined spaces. But aside from that, in most situations, like you shouldn't be using a pistol regardless. I mean, just shoot through the furniture at that point. I mean, you don't know if the guy hiding behind a couch is just someone's kid, though. Like, if you look at, like modern room clearing, if you're going into a contested room and doing room clearing stuff, you're already doing it wrong. Like, the right way to do it is a hand grenade and a gallon of gasoline, and then move on. But that doesn't necessarily work. We have bombers to destroy. Nope. No destroy objectives. We just put 24% elevator trim up. Why would you use 24% up trim? I mean, I guess if you... It's like the only thing left is bomber players. But let's see, what time is it for me? I think it's about time for me to go get some lunch. Because we got four kills. We got killed by a 0. We will win this game. We will unlock probably 1 or 2 more planes after this one finishes out. But I mean, I think I've had a good stream. The OV-1 Mohawk is a weird aircraft. Isn't that the tail pusher Cessna thing? Let me look. Oh, this is okay. This is different. Okay, it's not that. I mean, I don't know if it. I mean, anything can come to the game. I just don't know that what it would be useful for. Although maybe they add submarines and then it's used as an anti-submarine plane. Maybe, I don't know. It's a goofy looking one. But I mean, if they went with infantry, they could. There's a bunch of stuff they could add for like infantry close air support type planes too. But I don't know that they would do that. I don't know if they would structure their infantry mode based off of kind of like how Squad does it, where you have a limited number of vehicles per side. Honestly, I don't know how infantry in War Thunder works. It seems that they did the enlisted thing where you have a bunch of. You're forced to interact with the AI squads, and I think that was like a mechanic that a lot of people didn't enjoy. I mean, Jay Scott said we were going to see something awful early. I mean, he's 5-2. That's not too bad. Especially when these are F-tier planes in Aces of Thunder. Let's see. Let me scroll up here. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Nothing. I'm gonna throttle this guy back a little bit. Alright, leave that one. Hey, we got that, and this one probably split itself too. Yeah, of course, and that a handful of beans. Okay, we'll go here, and we're level 20. We got 9 crew points. Can't even get up to level 1G tolerance. But I think for this, 4,700. Don't think these actually matter in Sim, but why not? And I'm going to probably call that the stream. It's about 2 o'clock for me. So I'm a go. I'm out of here. Got, I think, a total of 8 games in this plane, and I think that we're going to end up getting the mosquito, and that will give us 2 mosquitoes. Or we could get, well, a Mark 5C trop. Mark 5C. And this is the one that's in Aces of Thunder, so we could already have that one too. So yeah, I'm gonna go quit. I quit. Quit. Buy Aces of Thunder, and then